let's start talking about the kids who aren't ever taught.
Exactly. Welcome to Jersey Mat Chat.
15 years ago, Champion Athletes was established to help athletes perform better through better nutrition. And we do that by creating an individualized nutrition plan for each person that we work with to maximize their body composition and make them feel their best, both in training and in competition. So Champion Athletes offers individualized nutrition programs for each client that we work with. We start off by having them fill out a questionnaire about their eating habits, what they like, what they don't like, and how their family eats, as well as their goals. We go over the questionnaires, we get to know each other, and then we do a body composition analysis where we measure their muscle mass, their body fat, and then we build a customized meal plan just for them. And our meal plans look like menus, so they're easy to follow. They include a grocery list, and they're based around that family's eating habits. And then we support all of our clients through texting. So in between our appointments, which are about every 4 to 6 weeks, our clients text us their weight, let us know how they're feeling, how their energy is, and we make sure they're progressing towards their goals in between each appointment. If you're looking to bring your performance to the next level, you should look at your nutrition, and Champion Athletes would be happy to help you do that.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of New Jersey Mat Chat. Today, to my right, we have South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee and newly sectional champion coach from Audubon High School, Mike Ahern. Mike, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We appreciate you, buddy. And also thanks for supporting what we do. So we're going to chat. So, Mike, you're a big name in South Jersey, arguably New Jersey, wherever you come from and where do you live, but been in the sport a long time.
I have.
A long time. So before we get into Mike Ahern, the established coach, I'm curious to know, and I think other historians are curious to know, let's talk about Mike Ahern before he became a coach, before he became a stud wrestler. Let's go back years ago. Where did you learn how to wrestle? Who was your first influential coach, and what made you fall in love with this life?
Well, I have 7 older brothers. I'm the last of 12.
Wow.
So,
12?
Yeah.
Wow.
So out of my 7 older brothers, 5 wrestled at Camden Catholic. My brother Sean went out as a sophomore. So he went out late in the game. My brother Brian went out as a freshman and was a 2-time region champ. So I was around it. At 5 years old, I wrestled. I cried after I lost the match. They pulled me out of it. So I was around it, but I never really started wrestling until 7th grade. And I wrestled for what's Cherry Hill Youth Heritage, junior school. And we had actually, and I just thought of this today, we actually beat Paulsboro when I was in 7th grade. It was a team that if we kept together, we went pretty good. It was a Cherry Hill team.
Yeah.
But I go all the way back to there. I wasn't that good. I was okay. I knew being around wrestling, I knew wrestling, but I didn't really get good until, I got around high school. And I mean, Gary Papa would be the first influential coach. I mean, if he's not in the conversation as one of the greatest coaches in New Jersey, I don't know what it takes, but
he won wherever he went.
And what made him great is he just took kids and made them think they were better than they were. And his whole philosophy was old school. He would probably have to change a lot today.
Of course.
I mean, we worked hard.
Yeah.
And people used to think when they came to our practices and, he was putting on a show, but we're like, these aren't even our hard practices. Like, I mean, to tell you the truth, on New Year's Day, we ran to the Mummers Parade and back over to Ben Franklin Bridge. Now, could you imagine doing that today?
He'd get fired. Be fired on the spot.
And we all thought, because we stopped at a police station, because someone said it, our 58-pounder said, well, let's run to the Mummers Parade, kidding around.
Good idea.
He's not the guy, So he stopped at the police station. We're doing push-ups, and we're running. And we figured he called his wife, who had a van or something, to pick us up, because it was just like a varsity run. He started turning around, and I was just like, it's one of them things, like, you either suck it up and get it done. You got about 10 miles to go and back. So 20.2 miles was our practice. It was amazing.
Wow. So what made you go to, so you would have went to, if you didn't go to Paul the Sixth, you would have went to Camden Catholic. Yeah. But publicly, you would have went to Cherry Hill East. Yeah. They didn't have a bad program.
No.
Right.
I mean, my freshman year, Greg Genstys, I lost to John Sloan. So I wrestled in the region finals the next year.
Ironic. Yeah, that's wild.
So yeah, I wouldn't have started at least my freshman year.
So was your family just strong with faith, or was was it athletics?
12 hour, I have 12 kids.
Right.
My parents did have a TV, believe it or not, but just Irish Catholic.
Yeah.
When it came to Paul VI, my brother Pat had gone there. My brother Brian was coaching with Gary Papa. He was his assistant that whole time. And I was kind of told, you're going to Paul VI. I'll be honest with you, like, I wanted to go to East. All my friends are there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I loved Paul VI.
Yeah.
But, in the beginning, I was kind of like, I wanted to go to East, but, I was going to Paul VI to wrestle. And, I was an 86-pound freshman.
We're going to talk about that. Undersized.
Yeah. So
you were real small.
Yeah. And I somehow kind of made varsity, and I had a pretty. I was 500. I think I was 15 and 13 or something like that. But I wrestled John Doran who won state that year. I didn't leave the middle circle. He didn't pin me, but he put me in every bar arm possible.
Yeah.
I was just little.
And you didn't hold back then, right?
No, I went after it.
Yeah. And what I mean is age-wise. You didn't repeat a grade back then?
No,
Right.
And I sat there and I graduated. I was 17 when I graduated. So, like, if there was a perfect kid, they'd kind of hold back. But, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
If I stayed and would my life change if I would state finals or won the states? Nah, this is a sport that prepares you for life.
Of course.
It's nice to have the accolades.
No. Well, you had your share of accolades. So I know you're a 2-time New Jersey state medalist, 3-time district champ, 3-time region champ. I'm a few years behind you. I was a huge wrestling fan. I didn't drive. So I only got a chance, and I remember this match specifically. I got a chance to watch you wrestle in its entirety one time. It was your region final against Santo at Cherry Hill East Gym. Yeah. I remember watching that match, and it was a hell of a match. And I believe you got OW, didn't you?
I did.
You got OW. And I remember that match. Razor close. Now, I'm curious, going into that match, I forget who were you the top seed?
I was not.
So did you feel like the underdog in that match? Do you remember?
I did, because I was a 2-time region champ, but I was coming up from 103 to 119. He was a region runner-up.
Right.
Eric Childs, the state champ.
Yeah.
But we scrimmaged them in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And he beat me like 5-0. He hammered me.
Okay.
And I struggled in the beginning of the year because I was a 3-pounder, kind of used to being able to dump people and all. It took me about a month to change wrestling 119-pounders where you can't get away.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you can get at 103. And I lost an early match to Eric Boncher, no disrespect, but I just wrestled really bad. And took third at the Peaburg tournament. And it was after that like my brother Brian, assistant coach, was like, you got changed.
Yeah.
And, I got going from there. But in that scrimmage, he put it to me good.
Yeah.
And to beat him was cool. Obviously, he's passed.
Yes.
Wade McGinley did a cool thing. I was reffing, and he brought me over to meet his kids. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. So
I had the pleasure.
I get choked up because
I know. I had the pleasure. I wrestled him, and he was a lefty, and he was. I don't know if you remember that. He was a lefty.
I was a lefty too.
Oh, okay. And they are pains in the ass to wrestle. If you're not used to that. And he was slick and good, and he was a show, man.
I knew he had a good headlock, and he still headlocked him. And that's how I got the first takedown. I kind of rolled through, and they said 2, no 2, but they ended up giving them 2.
Yeah.
But I was like, the whole time I was looking for it, and I still got hit with it. I was just like so mad. I think it actually woke me up. It got me so mad that I got hit with it.
It was a great match. Long live Chi. He was a big name in South Jersey. Good guy, good kid, fun to watch. I do remember that match. Do you remember the old Cherry Hill East when
Loved it. It was the best.
East was rocking?
Oh yeah, Super Regions went there, but when I wrestled Regions there, I loved it because you had the 2 tiers.
Yes.
Packed.
It was great. It was fantastic. Okay, so stellar career you won on that year. Ironically though, she ended up placing 3rd in states.
Yeah, so I took 6th.
Took 6th. Now, did you have expectations of winning states that year?
Actually, I felt like I had my best chance was my junior year.
Your junior year.
I beat Dilts in the Christmas tournament finals. In the quarterfinals, I had to wrestle Duke, who I beat during the year. That was the first year I cut a lot of weight. By the end of the year, I was more wrestling with the scale.
You're talking about Duke to Joseph?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I lost to Duke to Joseph. I beat him during the year, but I lost to him in the quarters. And I learned, I mean, I wrestled more worried about losing
Yeah.
instead of just winning.
Yeah.
And I feel like that helped me as a coach.
Mhm.
The next year I wrestled a pretty good state tournament. I was just kind of in between weight classes.
Yeah.
I was a little small for 119. Kenny Hershon, he was a state champion,
Walsh.
112. Tommy Walsh.
Yeah.
I mean, we were, and Stevie Hershon.
Yeah.
3-pounder.
He was a runner-up. He was a runner-up, yeah.
And the 5th person was John Coss.
Oh, that's right.
My
He started
senior
off
year.
before he went to Collingswood.
But
That's right. I
after
forgot
that,
about
we
that.
kind of had a bunch of inexperienced
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
But our first 5 were,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we lost 2 matches. We were up 33-0 that year. We lost to Buna by 1, being up that big, and
So let's clarify this. Who came up with the robes first, Paul VI or Camden Catholic?
Paul 6.
Okay. They were first?
Well, Papa brought him.
Is
to
that
Paul
what it was? A
6.
Papa thing? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I
He
learned
went to
something.
an Iowa State, Iowa match, saw the robes,
Because Iowa State used to wear them.
Yes.
Yes.
and of course, you know,
That's awesome.
one thing about Papa, he was an innovator. We did some things
I
that
love it.
he had an inflictor shirt that, you know, who inflicted the most pain in a match, and everybody wanted it.
I love it. That's cool.
So, and I do it to this day because, like, I know what motivates kids, and we wanted to win that shirt.
I learned something today about the ropes. Never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward. So you know, stellar career, high school wrestler. You go on to Elizabethtown College.
Yeah.
Now back then, teach me something because I didn't understand levels of wrestling back then. What was the gap between Division 3, 2, and 1 any different than it is today? Or did you go D3 because you wanted to go D3? Or was there any ego involved? Like,
No.
walk me through that.
I came out, I was supposed to get a rider.
Ryder,
I
okay.
was going to be rooming with my best friend, Tommy Walsh. Kind of the money fell through on the last of 12, so
Yeah,
it was, a lot of it was going to be on me.
of course.
And my brother Sean lives in Elizabethtown. He said, listen, I know the coach. Probably academically, I was a little bit of a push to get in.
Yeah.
And late in that, you know, almost in the summer, I went and decided to go to Elizabethtown. I looked at it as kind of like, I wrestled in a high power high school program. I kind of welcomed the, you know, it's not everything, but once I got there and wrestling started, I wanted it to be everything.
yeah.
So, you know, it was great. I had a great group of guys that I wrestle with. We still get together all the time. My state semifinal match this year, a bunch of them showed up. So I thought
That's
that
cool.
was, I had no idea too. So it was really,
That is awesome.
so, I mean, I just think it was a great choice for me at the time. Like, if I have any regrets, I visited the Naval Academy. I would have had to go into NAPS for a year. And I didn't really have anyone because, you know, a couple of my brothers went to college, but most of my older brothers and sisters, they went to work.
Yeah.
So, I wish maybe someone had pushed me in that way, but
Okay.
in hindsight, like, everything works out for a reason.
Things didn't seem to turn out too bad for you.
No,
Yeah.
listen, no. But like I said, that you look back at, you know, the opportunities in the world that, you know, and plus I'm so pro-military. Like, I have all the respect to guys who serve this country, and
Yeah.
I always said I tried doing this after 9/11. I was 30. I was too old to be a Marine. I wanted to be a Marine. And then they're like, well, you can talk to the Air Force. And I said, nah, I wanted to be a Marine. I want to have my feet on the ground. But I have such a fondness for, I'm a history teacher
Yeah.
too, but like war history, and, you know, I just love everything about it. But mad respect for veterans.
Oh yeah, I echo that, of course. So you graduate from Elizabethtown, and before you got, I believe you started coaching at Pennsgrove.
Yes.
Okay, so between Elizabethtown and Pennsgrove, did anything significant happen?
Yeah, I got to coach 2 years with John Sanders, who.
Did you?
Yes.
Really?
And I always told him we have a good laugh about it because I still talk to him, even on Facebook, and I call him the Pope. But man, he's a yeller, and people he's crazy, but those kids absolutely adored him, and there isn't anything he wouldn't have done to help any of them.
What's the connection between you and Sanders?
He needed an assistant coach.
That's all. That's the
So I
connection.
came out of
That's
college.
what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and then somehow I became the baseball coach and
Really?
soccer coach.
Really? Okay.
Right out. So-
Right out of the gate, coaching experience. I love it. Okay, so 2 years there. Then did you teach at Pennsgrove, or you just took the coaching job?
I did not. I was actually, I taught half a year at St. James, and then they closed it.
Yes, I remember that.
I took over. I got a job midway through the year, and previous two people that had the job had passed away. So they did tell me that in the interview. I'm like, well, if things happen in threes, I said I need the money. But I think my first year of teaching, I think it was like 18,000 out of school, and I was only making half of that. So I kind of thought, oh man, I'm making some money.
Yeah.
And,
Wow. Wow.
But no, that's why I kind of left Pengrove. I got the teaching opportunity at Sterling.
Okay.
And Sterling was really feeling like they had a good crew come up. They were wanting a coach, and my name got buzzed around, and somehow I got in there. And as you know, I had an awesome group of kids.
Were you there? Did you start pre Mark Manchio or during?
I did.
Mark?
No, I was there a year before Mark,
Okay.
right as his brother just made a name for himself there. And his brother started wrestling as a sophomore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just to watch because his brother's success. And
Freak genetics, man. Something there.
He was the first state place winner in Sterling's history. So that's pretty cool, you know.
So now, Mark, a lot of people, listen, kids, man, I could talk to you for days. Here's my issue with today's generation. It's not that they're disrespectful or anything like that, but they don't seem to give a damn about the history. Like, I don't know about you. I care. Like, I wanted to learn about who was good and the legends. And, part of the reason Pete and I are doing this now and sitting down with you is, guess what? You don't have to watch this episode, but here's an opportunity to watch an episode and talk about a guy that's been there, done that, high level, coached, wrestled, whatever. Kids just they don't seem to care anymore.
And I mean,
Mark Manchio was a monster. He was a monster.
I mean, I got the coach.
Yeah, monster. So you coached for all three of his, all three of his state titles.
And he lost 2 matches in high school. I will say that both times he lost, you kind of could tell he was always like, one thing he didn't want to do with Mark is actually show him up.
Yeah.
Everly kind of did that. Papa does this thing where he wants to test run a mat side weigh-ins right before we run out on the mat. Yeah. Everly kind of got his head out in front of Mark, kind of looked at him. Oh, Mark. And I was like, this is going to be a tight match. Yeah. Mark was one of them kids. He would raise his game. But the 2 matches he lost, it was just like anything else. You could see he had a little doubt. First one was state finals as a freshman. Right. I get it. But he also lost a coach from
Paulsboro. Yeah.
And it's just one of them things. Like, that was only his whole
crazy
2 losses in high school.
Ridiculous.
And he had the sickest hips.
Yeah.
I mean, sick hips. He's quick, and he had big what's, because if you saw some of the matches with Alexander, he dove between the legs. Like, he did things people weren't doing that.
Yeah, he's 4-time state finalist, 3-time state champ, from a small, and I say this respectfully, from basically an unknown wrestling power. Right. Sterling is not a wrestling powerhouse. No. Small school. And I did learn again. I learned something else today. I knew you coached him. I didn't know you coached him his entire. That's impressive. Well, that's something. That's a good resume. Something to put on your resume, huh?
Yeah.
Do you still stay in contact with him?
Oh yeah. I stay. I get a lot of texts especially during golf tournaments.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I always tell him he's the biggest front runner. He likes the Mets.
Likes
the Giants. He likes I know, but when the Giants.
Yeah.
He loves Sergio Garcia, and I always thought as a golfer, Sergio was a joker, but he loves Sergio Garcia. So if Sergio gets 1 under in a tournament, Sergio's going to win the Masters. Finally, the one year he finally wins the Masters, he looked right.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
Yeah, Mark. Mark was an exceptional, like, just one of them. He's a 1%er. I call it. Like, he could do things that kids can't.
And you coached 2 other state champs.
Yes, I coached Ivan.
Yeah.
Ivan Wiggins, and I coached Alex Thompson at Heights.
At Haddon Heights.
And that was the school's first state champ.
Yeah.
So, listen, if you looked at all the kids I've coached in my assistant coaching job, you could put together one hell of a team.
Oh, yeah.
Because I coached Umbenhauer, I coached Curcio, I coached so many good kids as assistants.
Yeah.
Me and Ralph Ross did it like our best teams ever.
Mm-hmm.
I have a loaded team.
Well, I'm going to go back memory lane real quick. I'm going to keep this very short. I was a wrestling official for many years, and I'll never forget. I got a phone call on a Friday night saying, "Doug, I need you, specifically me. I need you at Delray tomorrow. It's going to be a long day." It was you, Ralph Ross Jr., Nate Martyr, all in one gym, right? And they needed some heavy feet in there. You know what I mean? Because you guys are passionate, is the nice way to say it. And it was interesting. But I also knew the respect you guys have amongst each other.
All you needed to do was throw in Billy Ward.
Yeah. Oh, no, Ward wasn't there. No, Ward wasn't there. And it was you three, and I'll never forget that. It was at Del Rand's gym, and I'll never forget that. Funny. So you go to Haddon Heights. Now let's get more current. So you took over at Audubon High School when?
This year.
This year. Okay. So this is your first year at Audubon High School, and I guess you pulled some tricks out of your hat and you won the school's first ever sectional title.
I don't.
How the hell did you do that?
I know. I'm not. Listen. I grew up Catholic. I have my own religion, like relationship with God.
Right.
I went through a hard time in my life. Girl I was with 7 years. We ended our engagement. 5 months after that, her 17-year-old son was killed in a car accident. I lost 2 sister-in-laws within a couple of years span and 2 good friends. So I was reffing, but I was really in a place where I was like, had no drive. And that's not me.
Right.
But after a year and a half, I finally went to the doctor and I just kind of told him everything. And his term was, you John Wayne'd it. And he says, you got post-traumatic anxiety.
Right.
So I did see a therapist,
right.
Which helped.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever get over what I went through.
No.
My 2 sister-in-laws went through, one went through pancreatic cancer.
No, you don't get over that.
The other one went basal cell degeneration. And my sister-in-law, Laura, was like such a dad. Like, she used to quarterback me and my brother when we were young. And my sister-in-laws I knew since I was like 5.
Yeah.
So they were sisters.
Yes.
So I reffed and all, but I was just coexisting. And Chris Baker, who I said this year God was working for me. And like I said, I had some angry conversations when, my ex's son died and, things happened to your sister-in-law. I'm not angry in the sense you're questioning why.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I actually, the day before, just bought new reffing pins because I had a hole in them. I got to get new reffing pins. Chris Baker called me. He had just gotten a job at Audubon. And I actually called the principal.
Now, Chris Baker is, so people know.
Chris Baker is the AD at Audubon,
Okay.
who I taught with at Clayton. And when he went for the job, I called the principal, Jeff Lev, because I had coached with Jeff. I'm like, listen, I don't know, anything. I'll just put my 2 cents in. I said, this kid's great with kids. They'll love him. And because Chris, all the kids at Clayton love him. And all of a sudden, then that's probably second week of September, out of nowhere, he calls me. He said, hey, would you be interested in coaching? I was like, all of a sudden I got that surge, like, oh my God, I got excited.
Now, let me interrupt you real quick. Now, how long at this point have you been out of coaching? 5 years. Okay, go ahead.
My last year was when Jacob Rodriguez and Noah Putney were region champs and Jaden Hitton was a region runner-up at Clayton.
Okay.
And that was right before COVID.
So now you're 5 years out. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
5 years out.
Yeah.
And, he calls me and I said, well, listen, I said, I am interested. But obviously I'm a single dad. My daughter's 16, 15 at the time. I said, I got to talk to her mom. And said, I'm like, yeah, just from what I felt, I was like, man, I want to do this.
That's therapy in itself, though.
Well, Audubon, when I got done coaching, I said, there'd be 3 places that I would consider coaching. And it was more because of community and just what I would look for.
Yeah.
Audubon obviously was one of them, but I always said Clearview before Jimmy got hired. I said, I think Clearview's a gold mine. I always thought, and Hammond was a great place, good town. Like, you want a town where people are going to support the sports, and they've had a great wrestling team and all. So if I was going to come out, they want to do a rebuild. I wanted where a town was active, and he called me up. And the thing is, I asked my daughter's mom, I said, hey, I had an opportunity. I said, do you mind if I take it? And ironically, she said, I think you need to take it. So I kind of get choked up because all the stuff that happened, it had to happen for me to be good. And then I talked to my daughter and she said, Dad, you're good at it, do it. So I took it and, I got board approved on the 15th. It was the most unique situation because I didn't know any of the kids. I obviously knew Brodzik because I was at States and a kid from Audubon's here. But in your mind, I'm not thinking to watch them or I'm going to be coaching them the next year. And to come in and, all those things. An AD had to resign. Chris had to get the job. The coach had to resign, and the coach did a great job before me. He leaves. They were 24-6 the year before. Now I know I got to replace about 8 or 9 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, ah.
And you're not in the hallways to recruit.
No,
hallways.
my assistant coach.
Your assistant coach. Okay. Okay.
And I got Billy Scully. He was one of the best like girls soccer coaches in South Jersey, but he was also the former head wrestling coach, and he had stud teams.
Yeah. He
just was going against Paulsboro's, their era, where they had like Bennett and all those guys, where they were just monsters. So he's in the school, and my other assistant, Ryan McLaughlin, had just gotten hired. So I do have it in the school. But yeah, I mean, listen, till the first practice, I really didn't have any interaction. I met him once. So I spent the first month. I would tell you, Kyle and Billy and Ryan ran all the drills. I was watching. I had to see what we had.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous as heck though, because sports changed a lot in 5 years.
Yeah.
So as the paperwork, but as my assistant coach will tell you, they do the paperwork, because me touching a computer is not very good. So,
yeah.
And the new hydration rules,
They're a joke.
well, and I didn't have my lineup where I wanted it from what I saw until a week before groups. I will not have that issue next year,
Right.
But going in, and seeing what I had, like I had to see it. I always say it. I trust my eyes with coaching. I said I might not always be I'm not the best coach in the world, but I always trust my eyes. And going through the room, 2 of the kids I just saw, they competed for every point, and they weren't in our varsity lineup. And I said, I got to find a way to get these guys in our line. And one of them, I would tell you, is probably our 3rd best athlete. This kid, Mike Ahern. And I was like, and I just said, hey, listen, I need you guys to go down. Yes, coach. It was just like the perfect situation, but it's a lot to do with my leadership. My senior leaders, Jonah Jordan, is the character kid he is, and you can just see how the kids respect him.
It's a monster.
But I also feel like the one thing I did really good is create a family atmosphere. It was the perfect group of kids, the right attitude.
Yeah, but you're by nature, you're a very passionate, loud, brash. I'll even say sometimes borderline politically incorrect, however you want to word it.
You can say that.
Yeah, but how do you turn that off and on? Like how you're a what do they call it? A type A personality. You're an alpha male. How do you learn to just say, all right, today I'm not going to be that?
Well, I mean, John Sanders told me when I started coaching, it's going to take you 10 years to become a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to take you 20 years to be a really good coach.
Yeah.
I think you learn. Obviously, I was a lot different coach. One, I let go of a lot of control this year. And type A and all, I'm like, I had so much trust, and I had such a great coach. These guys were unselfish. Billy Scully, Kyle Muckley, and Ryan McLaughlin. They were there for the kids. They want to see the kids do well. And when you have a coaching staff that just really, good role models and care about kids, it was just like, and the parents were great. My booster club, I came in, my booster club was like, listen, we got 7,000 free to roll. So like, I'm coming into a good situation. I got a booster club set up, and between the banquet and the fundraisers they did, it was a perfect marriage. I don't know how long I have. I'm 54, but I will imagine I'm going to end it all.
Well, let me interrupt you. Listen, you're obviously, your character is, you're revealing who what your character is, revealing your true self. You're quick to give credit to your coaching staff, and I admire that. And they do get credit. But Mike, you step in and you win a sectional title. So you obviously did something right. Now I'm just curious.
I mean, that's I think one of the things, and even as a teacher, I might not produce, Rhodes Scholars,
Right.
but I produce people that I feel like relationships. I think my kids as a teacher know I care. They call me uncle, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Really?
They're like probably the crazy uncle. But I mean, I have such a good rapport with a lot of my kids, and I think I do that with coaching. I think the pains I felt as a wrestler and not getting stuff done and all. I think it made me a better coach. Tried to make it more, you know, I wrestled where like, God, if I didn't tech fall my senior year, I knew I was going to get yelled at.
Yeah.
So it was like, sometimes it just doesn't happen. I just think I've evolved, and I do think you kids need to know you love them. I'm proud of them. I always end every practice, tell them how much I love them and I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
Even if they wrestle bad, I said, I'm still proud of you. I'm disappointed how you
Yeah,
wrestle,
of course,
but I'm still
of course.
proud of you.
But you've coached at several high schools. So my question to you is, does each school district or town or school administration, do they have their own rules that they're flexible with that another school district might not be? Are your hands constantly in handcuffs on what you really want to do as a coach?
I've never really felt handcuffs. I felt like, because of the work I put in, most ADs were willing to do what I had to. Like, obviously, they're not going to let you break rules.
Right.
Excuse me. No, I felt like, I had to kind of create culture in a couple schools. So wrestling wasn't really big at Sterling.
Right.
I think when I took over, they never had a winning season.
Right.
Or if they did, it was one. So you kind of had to create the culture. I don't know. I think another good thing you saw is that when we wrestled in our playoffs, state semifinals in our gym, big matches, our gym, it's packed.
Yeah.
Even though we lost the Emersboro match, I mean, for a wrestling fan to watch that match, it was a heck of a match. And all the credit to them, because I like how their kids battle. They might be down 10, they're still scrapping.
You can't change a culture without a tremendous amount of support, though.
Yeah, listen, I said it. When we beat Paulsboro, I pulled my parents into the locker room. I said, listen, this is just as much your celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Damn right.
I mean,
Parents put in a lot of work, too.
Listen, the tournament, listen, I know it. And like I said, I walked into such a perfect situation for me.
Yeah.
And listen, if I walk into any other group, group one was like legitimate group one. If I go into group two, okay, there's kids that go to all these different schools.
Of course.
You have, strong teams.
Of course.
Group one, I felt like this year was like not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
you had a shot.
We had a shot. Listen, Paulsboro was not their normal Paulsboro, but so how to go? It's still,
you got to win. You got to wrestle and win.
Because everyone's like Paulsboro, Sunset, and all. First of all, don't ever believe that, because Paul's one of the best coaches in the state. He's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Okay, and
100%.
I have a ton of respect.
Without question. Yeah.
Because they'll always know Paulsboro's kids will beat one of your best kids that they're not supposed to in the duel.
They're the better conditioned team, one of the better conditioned teams every year.
Always so solidly coached. Like what they do well.
Yes.
And they wear you out.
Yes.
And I've always thought mental toughness was a kind of a key staple with Paulsboro too. So to go in there, I don't care. We won in there and beat them there.
Yeah.
And we had lost to them there earlier in the year.
It's exciting stuff, man.
The one kid I got down in Versa, we got pinned at 38 the first time. He majored. So that was a big move. Now I don't get to see how the other move worked out because we had won, and I think we would have saved points. And the first time we wrestled him, I knew I didn't have my lineup, but I did say to Tom McGurk, I said, I just want to see if we can beat him. I said, I don't think we can beat him that night. We lost by 4.
Yeah.
But there was also 3 matches in the middle that were super close. I could go the other way. And
Toss-ups.
I know they were thinking that too. So
Toss-ups.
Yeah. But like I said, to win the school's first one, to watch the kids all come together, that was like, for me, if we'd have lost, I would have been fine with it. But I wanted the kids to feel that. And
of course.
I laugh because, because of that anxiety.
Yeah.
When I'm stressed,
Yeah.
I lose weight. And I lost 18 pounds over the season. It was all on the back end, ready for groups, because right before groups, we wrestled Gateway and we lost. And we were wrestling so good, it was like our worst match. And Gateway wrestled tough. And I love Rutt, their head coach. He's a great coach.
He's a great guy.
And he's just a great
Been around forever.
Great wrestling guy.
Been around forever.
And so, I had it on the ride home. I was like, man, we got playoffs next week. So I chewed them out. And right before when we got pulled up, I said, listen, I only chewed you out because I love you. I said, come ready we're going to work through this tomorrow with a hard workout and we'll be fine. I said, I love you. I'm proud of you. I said, disappointing effort tonight, but we're going to fix this. And the next day, I don't know I don't know if it was the seniors that they came in, they were on point. We had really such a great practice going up to Monday's groups. We beat Woodstown, which scared me because I have a Jonah as one of my studs, and that's usually it's 6 point for me. Now I know
They got a stud.
six the other way.
Vince Aguirre, is that his name?
Yeah.
Vince Aguirre, yeah.
And Jonah does everything he can, but just Jonah is a football player
Yes.
that got really good this year.
Yes.
He has a motor top. Like, I feel like he was just starting to like learn how to wrestle.
Yeah.
And Vince Aguirre is a hell of a
Oh, yes, he's
And,
tough. Yeah.
And I was like, during his 3 of his 5 losses were to him. He had to wrestle him 3 times. So, yeah, that scares you because when that's a 12-point swing,
We count on that. It's in the bank. You know, I get it. I get it.
So you gotta have other kids step up. And the weird thing is, we had kids step up all year.
Depth wins, man. Depth wins.
And listen, I have a lot of kids. We had 6 kids come out like during the year. So kids that had wrestled and not, and there was excitement in the school. And
What did the school do for the team or the community or anything?
well,
Did they pay for a pizza that weekend or what? I mean,
now listen, we got our principal is an ex-wrestling guy. I mean, how many schools principal comes in and roll around?
that's
It's great.
awesome. That's awesome.
Our kids, we had someone, one of my wrestlers' fathers donated $6,000 for jackets.
Nice.
From
Give him a shout out. Who did that? Were you allowed to say it?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can say it.
Mr. Burks.
Mr. Burks?
Mr. Burke.
Mr. Burke.
Yeah, he donated.
Good stuff.
He donated $6,000. So
Wow.
that was pretty cool, kind of wearing it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was pretty awesome. But I mean, we have a lot of nice things we do for art. We had a beautiful banquet. Shout out to my booster moms.
That's awesome.
Are kick ass. They do so many beautiful things. The seniors had these beautiful portraits of all their wrestlers.
That's cool.
So listen,
That's good stuff.
if you're gonna have a good program, okay, I do think you try and do everything, because your banquet should not be, as some of the moms said, in a cafeteria.
I agree.
So it was nice to celebrate good food, and yeah, it was just sad part for me is it's over, and that senior group, like, it was such a magical year, and like I said, for me, it was a very fulfilling year. I always laugh. I said to my brother that night after we beat Paulsboro, I said, well, I guess I can finally take never beat Paulsboro off of my tombstone.
Did you get South Jersey Coach of the Year?
I got it in the career pass.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that matters. Well, good. That's well deserved. I thought you did. I wasn't sure. Yeah, it's awesome. That's good. I mean, so like, where do you can't be, I mean, you're still young. There's no way you're fulfilled. So what's next?
Man, I mean, I just,
Staying in Audubon?
I'm going to listen until physically I can listen. I was so nervous about physically. I'm 50, going in, I'm 54. I'm almost 55 now. So I'm wrestling, and I'm wrestling every day. I'm actually not feeling too bad.
Yeah.
A couple of days, I felt frisky. I wrestled with David and Jonah. Shouldn't have got frisky, but
Yeah.
then
100-pound weight advantage.
we're wrestling Gloucester, and I'm coaching, and I'm like, I feel this. I called a trainer. I said, I don't know what's going on. I had a hernia. So I coached the last month and a half of the season, but I actually had a double hiatal hernia. So once the season was over, April 6th, I got the surgery. I said, it's just part of he said it wasn't really from wrestling this year. He said, you've been lifting and wrestling your whole life.
Well,
So,
true.
but I was worried about holding up and how I would do. And I was worried because of the sport changing. It's so much more athletic.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We didn't scramble when I wrestled.
Right.
So I can do it now, obviously, but we didn't do it then.
Your body bends, and so it's bananas, man. I know. It's, again, we're from the same era. Scrambling wasn't there.
But I just, I was nervous. I mean, plus I was walking in a situation, they were 24-6. Even though we had to replace a lot of kids, if I go in there, we're 9-9. They're like, Ahern's washed up, get him out of here. So I didn't kind of even realize that when I went in there. Like, man, I'm following up a really good year. And like I said, the coaches, had built, and Kyle, who I kept on staff. I mean, Kyle kind of ran me through what they did, and what I liked, I kept. I mean, I thought they did a good job. So, I just was, I don't know if experience or just a little bit of a different trained eye, but just to kind of get them over the top. But like I said, I think one of the things is seeing the lineup, kind of making those adjustments. I've always been pretty good at that, and having great kids who, they didn't know me most of them didn't even know me. I think one kid knew me because his uncle wrestled for me. Other than that, I was 5 years out of the game. They didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
So who's this guy coming in and coaches us? And when I tell you from day one, they worked, and it was and we coached the boys and girls together. I got some terrific girls, and I got some really good ones coming. But I mean, you see Peyton, who took sixth in the state for me as a sophomore. Like, I love watching that. I mean, she practices hard. I just love it because the sport's growing. I still wish we would do things to lessen the weight classes to make the competition better.
Agreed.
I feel like we've watered down the product a little bit. I agree. And I think it's also killed JV.
It has.
I think if we had 11 weight classes, you need 22 kids to have full varsity, full JV if they fall right. 30 kids, you're going to cover both of them, most likely.
Well, the 11 weight classes, that's great. Then you got 3 parents suing the school board and suing the state. You know how that works.
I mean, we got to get to the point where, listen, in what world, when we were growing up, our freshmen expected to start?
Well,
kind of got to earn your stripes, right? We've lost that.
You're preaching to the choir.
I know. Listen.
Well, let me hit you with this too, because this is a very, very powerful. Well, not powerful, but it's always brought up. The current PowerPoint system. I'm going to give you 3 options. Keep it, tweak it, or scrap it. Scrap it. Why?
I just. How are they figuring out? It seems like some years the shore areas points are way higher than an area, and then North Jerseys are higher. Like there doesn't seem like consistency. Like I almost feel like, can't we get 10 smart guys, okay, or an odd number if you got to vote on it, and have guys seed the state tournament that are part of a committee? Like wouldn't
like the non-publics get?
Yeah, like wouldn't that be smart?
Well, I'm gonna. You're a coach of a small school, so I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think it's fair that you get just as many points? I got to be careful what I say. I don't want to offend any school. I got to use schools as an example. So, is it fair that you get just as many points for beating Cumberland than Southern does for beating Howe? Well, is that fair?
Well, no,
but that's how the system rewards, though.
It's
You know what
like
I mean?
I said, it's not. Listen, there's a lot of things. I don't feel like a lot of things we do anymore is really in the best interest of sport. It's more in the best interest of making parents happy, making everyone happy. But you know what? What's really best for our sport is to grow the sport, make it more competitive, bring back JV. Because let's be honest with you, how many dual meets you see all these pins? We don't develop kids anymore.
I know.
And to start the season, the beginning of this year, I said, I would never, ever have gone in my opening day tournament. We won when West Effort and Delsey wrestled. I think I would have had 8 kids that could have wrestled that night. They wrestled like that Wednesday, like after 8 days. One, don't tell me anyone's in shape after 8 days.
No,
that's so one, that's ridiculous. 2, like we don't need to wrestle 50 matches. Right. Look at the best college team in the country. They wrestle about 19 matches before the Big Tens. Their kids are fresh. We're wrestling 50 matches. 100 wins, no offense.
It's nothing.
Okay, it's nothing. When we wrestled,
a milestone.
It was a milestone. Yeah. When I won my 3rd region title, I was only the 13th person in South Jersey history to win 3 region titles. Now there's like 100 that have won 4.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I mean, the PowerPoint, like using the PowerPoints, for example, is it about equity or equality? They want the same results for everyone, and you can't do that. It's a joke. And how is it fair for I'm just using examples. I'm familiar with Group 5 because my son wrestles for a Group 5 school.
All right.
Was it logical for Southern to take a bus trip to Kingsway? And I'm saying that respectfully, but they had to. No. Everybody in New Jersey and
Well,
Bricking will tell you too. Southern was the best
I'll
team.
tell you, Michael, listen,
Southern was the best team.
I
right?
talked to Michael a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Michael wrestled for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what do you got a chance? He's like, well, he's very honest with the team. He's like, if we wrestle well, we'll win 5 or 6, blah, blah, when we talk.
Right.
Um,
But Southern had to get on a bus and drive down to Swedesboro. It shouldn't be that way, though. They got to fix it. They got
listen there.
fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Crazy.
we got enough, people that understand the sport. Like, can't we get a committee like in South Jersey? All right, this is a committee of 7 guys that are gonna see the groups. I mean, they all watch wrestling.
Yes.
Now, if there is something that people won't like about that, and you give them a day to petition to see, make their case, vote on it. But I mean, it really shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, I guess you got to wrestle everybody and win, right? So that's what they'll say. You got to wrestle everybody and win.
You do, but there's semifinal matches that should clearly be happening at Rutgers. Sectional semis that should be happening at Rutgers. The goal should always be, although it's never 100% predictable, you want the best teams to wrestle at Rutgers. Right. That's the goal.
I agree.
That's the goal, whoever it may be.
But you might also have the best 2 teams in the same section.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic.
Right.
That
do you just seed Group 1?
To seed them.
Wow, listen, I
seed 'em.
think you get a lot of coaches that would be on board for that. I mean, if you're trying to get a true state, but the problem is, like, if you're going to compete, okay, you kind of almost got to be like, all right, looking to get kids in, because I mean, it's tough to win a group title with I'm in a position in Group 1 in South Jersey. I was able to do it with kids in my school. I wouldn't necessarily say if I was at another school that would.
I understand.
So
I understand.
I mean, it comes to you. That's never like people are like, it's almost like everyone can recruit now. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'll coach what's in my school. If someone showed up, so be it. But I just I would like to feel like I can coach what I got, and if we fall short, that's all right.
Yeah.
It was with the kids in from our school that should have been there. So and that's life. Listen, the one thing about this is there's a whole lot of loyalty for high school sports now. You see all these kids flipping for whatever reason, sports like football. Kids are going all over the place, and it's a shame because I feel like that what's filtered in college is filtered in high school.
It is,
and we always know that kids transferred and all this, but it's like I don't know. This is like there's no loyalty.
Well, you know what I think? Well, my personal opinion, Mike. I think this is what I think parents are waking up to. And let's face it, not every school, but there is a lot of political BS going on within coaching staffs, within school boards, within people elbowing each other in and out and bringing this kid. Sometimes parents are like, you know what? Like, I don't want my kid's coach to be just a science teacher who has never played this sport before.
I got it.
You know what I mean? I'm not. I didn't invest my whole life.
Right. You invest in your kids. You don't. I get that.
I want to go here if the opportunity presents itself. So I don't blame parents.
Listen. You can never blame a parent for wanting better for their kid.
Right.
But in the same game, like if you look at all the elite teams in the state in every sport, it's mostly Catholic schools.
It is.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I think the state finals, what was it, like 21 of the 28 were all Catholic schools?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what's happening. And what happens is the depth and quality of the sports is hurting in other schools. Because when we wrestled back in the day, even if we were wrestling a team that wasn't considered that good, there was 4 or 5 scraps.
Yeah, but they're not. They're going to non-publics for the schedule, not because let's face it,
the exposure, absolutely.
The cream of the crop could go to their hometown schools and win a state title,
right?
Because they're getting good at their clubs. They're getting 101s. They're going to RTCs.
The big tournaments.
Yeah, they're going to these non-publics for the schedule.
Yeah,
they're going to Powerade. They're going to Ironman. They're going to what's it called? Doc B out in California, the Beast, Escape the Rock. That's why they're going.
Sure.
Like Audubon, I don't know what your budget is, but is the budget? Can you take kids to? Let's say you qualified and they were. Are you going to the Beast, the Rock?
Well,
like
our team. Like David, I was going to send the Beast, but he had an injury, so we had to pull him out. But Peyton went.
Mm-hmm.
The kids I felt would compete. Like it's not going to be good for my whole team.
But financially, can your school support that, or would they support it?
Yeah, I could swing it
Okay.
with school and business. Listen, our school, I will say this, anything they can get us within,
Yeah,
if they
of
have
course.
it, they'll,
They're gonna give it to you.
they're not stingy. It's just, how, all budgets are.
Yeah.
You're robbing Peter to pay
Of course.
Paul anymore.
Of
And
course.
so sometimes you get no, but no, I mean, I've really never heard like, hey, you can't go in this tournament. We're out of money. I've never heard that.
Well, I've heard it from other schools for sure.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah. A shame.
Then you got to, and if
Because
that,
listen, not all parents can afford to come out of pocket for these things. And I think that's also forgotten about. This day and age. Oh yeah, this trip's going to cost $385.
say you have 4 kids,
I don't have it.
for your other kids watching your 5th kid wrestle in the state tournament,
Yeah.
and you're down there for a weekend.
I know.
How do you can't afford to watch your kid wrestle?
I know. It's nuts.
So
It's nuts.
it's like, and I mean, it's just the state of everything's so expensive, and I don't think high school sports should
Be expensive.
priced out to where
I know.
someone might not be able to see their kid wrestle.
It's crazy.
because they got 4 other kids or 3 other kids.
It really is.
And I'll be honest with you, I struggle with one.
Yeah.
So I have the most profound. My parents had 12.
That's crazy.
You know what I hear people like, it was different times. I'm like, we still had to eat, we still had to get clothes, and we went to Catholic school. I said, I'm struggling with one. They had 12.
You had to go to you had to get out of college to have your own room, right?
Yeah.
Of college.
Or move out of that. Yeah.
Right. Remember that. So let's end this with this. You were one of the brave coaches who decided to join the referee ranks.
I did.
So how much of your perspective toward referees has changed since then?
Listen, I got such a better hand of the rule book.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Gary got me to Wade got me to go into it, and Gary had at this point done D1s.
Yeah,
he's so well knowledgeable of the rule book. I kind of like the fact that now, as I go back coaching, I'm like,
you get it now.
Now when I question something, they can't really say something, but I'm still gonna. I got warned my first dual meet. It's the only meet I got warned. Okay.
We got that on camera.
Okay. Well, in the AD's office, they had a thing with a bucket for my fines, because I think it was after 3 you get fines, so they were already starting to collect for my fines. But I actually was pretty. I know not every ref will say, but I was pretty calm. And during regions and states, I was very rarely in the corner.
Yeah.
Jonah's brother, Jeff, I let sit. I wanted definitely for region finals, but during districts, I said, "Oh, you're a heavyweight. You can help him better." And so he would sit in there, and they can't really say anything. I wasn't in the corner too much, and I wasn't too bad. I still think there's.
Was it harder, or was it a lot harder, or as hard as you envisioned it to be when becoming an official and getting on the mat and calling matches?
I will say that you have to know positioning well.
Mhm.
And I remember after my first few matches, I was talking to Joe DeRillo, and I said, "Listen," I said, "I got too close." He goes, "You'll get kicked in the head enough times to know that you'll know."
Oh yeah,
You'll start getting better positioning. And he goes, "That's part of the game." I thought I was getting pretty good. I remember doing a JV tournament where they did 2 rests, and I'm trying to forget Sean. I think it was Sean Reynolds who wrestled at Pembroke.
Mm-hmm.
He said did a really nice job at holding calls.
It
was kind of like a thing, like he kind of, but I also understood where wrestling was going. My biggest thing is, you're still reffing, you don't want to be a point where you're still looking red or green or you're thinking about it. And I was getting to a point where I wasn't, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
But that is like, you don't understand, like you're still trying to make sure everything's right.
Yeah.
So you have it different. And like when I'm doing tots, they're just rolling around in circles, points are flying.
You're looking for full Nelsons. That's it.
You can't really,
Don't fight anyone.
You can't really judge it. Both kids are crying.
Yeah.
And I love how, like, some parents are yelling at you. It's like 15-5. Both kids are crying, and there's 10 seconds left in the match, and he's like yelling at a call. I'm like, both kids are crying. Yeah, I'm just like, sometimes you just like, this is what hurts the sport too. Some parents are just like, they're 4 years old. Let them learn.
The parents always find a way to screw things up.
Just let them go, especially because your parents. My dad was a world champion. I still wasn't going to listen to him because he was my dad. I'm going to listen to my coach. Like, a lot of parents don't understand it. Like, you could have been as good as you want, but you're dad, and they want to hear it from someone else.
Of course. Mike, listen, I can't thank you enough, man, for coming in. It was a great chat. Again, I wish we can chat for 2 more.
Listen, I'll have to come back.
But I'm going to call you out on something.
Okay.
Can we come down next season, put a spotlight on your program, mic you up, get behind the scenes?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to do it.
Great.
We're going to hold you to that.
All right, absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, appreciate
Mike
it.
Ahern. Thanks, guys.
Attention, wrestling fans, parents, and future state champs. This is your podcast. We're shining a light on the toughest high school New Jersey wrestlers and coaches who are building warriors one takedown at a time. Follow us, like, and subscribe on your favorite platform. Doesn't cost you anything, but it goes a long way to support the show. Don't just watch the journey, be part of it.